Hieronymus Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights. Is this a dream or a nightmare? Or perhaps a truth more real than reality itself? Hell devours us not with fire, but with meaningless strangeness. A man kneels in prayer at the center of a crumbling world. Yet around him, various demons torment him with all manner of temptations. The power to refuse, is that truly freedom? 500 years ago, Hieronymus Bosch posed a question. Can human beings truly choose for themselves? His most complex answer lies in his masterpiece, The Garden of Earthly Delights. Left panel, Garden of Eden, an anxious scene of creation. The left side of this triptych depicts the Garden of Eden, the moment when God creates humanity. As pale dawn light barely touches the earth, a quiet paradise unfolds. A white heron glides slowly over the lake that sparkles like rippling water. In the center of the garden stands Eve with her still soft flesh, her face blank as if she has just awakened from sleep. Adam, sitting beside her, gazes not at her but toward unknown beasts disappearing behind distant clouds. God makes a gesture with his fingertips as if introducing the two, but between their expressions flows an eerie tension rather than joy. Bosch's paradise differs from traditional religious paintings. Rather than a perfectly ordered Eden, this is an anxious scene of creation, where imagination and reality are already intertwined. The order of paradise seems less complete than like a laboratory where birth and mutation proceed simultaneously. Here, Bosch emphasizes the awkwardness of the created rather than the omnipotence of the creator. Under God's hand, humanity is not yet a finished being. They are being born carrying the sparks of temptation soon to come. God entrusts the world to these two, yet his gaze is somehow stern. It seems to ask, are you ready to handle all of this? In other words, the left panel resembles less a moment of blessing than a scene of signing a contract of trial. Philosopher Hannah Arendt called birth the source of human freedom, but freedom simultaneously presupposes responsibility. Here, responsibility is given as the fundamental task of how to handle curiosity itself. This scene is beautiful yet endlessly strange and tense. If God touches the river at his feet, the waves seem ready to twist instantly. If Eve moves a single finger, wolves and birds seem ready to cry out together. Bosch plants seeds of catastrophe within this stillness. The paradise we see is not a perfect past, but the entrance to a future where excessive possibilities will soon explode. Central panel, the world of pleasure, indulgence that has lost meaning. This is literally the world of pleasure. Countless humans indulge in pleasure. People ride giant fruits, dance in bizarre forms, and birds feed humans. A massive carnival of dreams unfolds. At the center of the feast lies a giant strawberry. On it, a man and a woman lean against each other with expressionless faces. Inside a transparent glass sphere, another pair of lovers strikes a pose, but they wear anxious smiles as if unaware they are exhibits. In the lake, swans carry people in circles, while distant figures on horseback hunt a massive unidentified creature wagging its tail. Here, Bosch deliberately creates an overload of color and form. Red strawberries, blue flowers, white flesh, bizarre buildings, and ground curved in a slightly surreal manner. This stimulates visual pleasure but simultaneously causes interpretive fatigue. We become confused about where to look first, what the center is. At this point, the terror hidden within pleasure reveals itself. Medieval mystics sang of heaven as eternal presence, but this garden Bosch painted feels like a nightmare where time has stopped. No laughter or screams are heard, yet every figure is trapped in endless repetition. When desire is maximized beyond fulfillment, one wanders having lost the goal of the next stage. This is precisely such a space. Religiously speaking, the central panel is a warning without warning about secular paradise. Rather than explicit depictions of sin, it shows the ominous silence that even something so beautiful can ultimately become meaningless. Even within the splendid fruits, transience seeps through, and the naked crowd is indifferent to each other's existence. This visualizes the paradox that as the entropy of desire amplifies, meaning grows dim. Right panel, hell, the bankruptcy of desire. The final right panel, this is hell. Like a sudden blackout, the screen transforms into pitch black night. Lightning flashes in the distance, revealing a transparent, musical instrument-shaped hellish castle. A sinner is bound atop a giant lute-shaped punishment instrument, and the drum's hide is torn human skin. A giant bird swallowing a human whole and then vomiting them back up visualizes cyclical punishment. Bosch's hell transcends traditional, fire and brimstone, punishment, twisting humanity's everyday tools into nightmares. Civilizational symbols like music, dining, and play have all become mediators of pain. Like Zygmunt Bauman's concept of liquid modernity, pleasure and pain have flowed by instantly switching positions. In a religious context, this is both final judgment and simultaneously a mirror for self-reflection. Rather than punishment for unbelief or simple sins, this is the moment of late awakening when the self, numbed by pleasure, recognizes itself. This hell is not pain imposed from outside, but an internal landscape created by the solidification of desire's emptiness. As the saying goes, despair is the inability to escape from oneself. Bosch is right. Panel denounces this inescapability through the most extreme visual language. What the soul that ran chasing pleasure encounters at the dead end is self-hatred created by boredom and emptiness. Finally, Bosch leaves a small twist. In the lower left, a small candle barely visible in the darkness. Is it salvation or a catalyst for temptation to begin again? No answer is provided. Instead, the screen remains in gloomy silence, posing questions. An eternal enigma, suffering, consequence, transformation. The end of earthly pleasure leads to divine judgment. Bosch says, pleasure is fleeting, and humanity is weak. Yet he painted it all too compellingly. No one knows the exact meaning of this painting. Is it a warning, satire, or did Bosch witness a world of the unconscious that he couldn't even dare imagine? Hieronymus Bosch. He was a medieval visionary painter who depicted human desire between heaven and hell. Those who see his paintings can never forget them. Perhaps it's because such hell and pleasure are hidden within us as well. Hieronymus Bosch's world has ended, but imagination has not yet ended.